So this has been a really big online story recently. The man who swiped right on Tinder 2 million times and only got a single date over a 5-year period. I don't know if anyone on YouTube is covering this, but I saw this recently on social media. I saw it posted on Instagram. And I just found this story so interesting. And I think a lot of other people do, because the comments I saw on this story when I saw it online, the people were saying he looks like a nice guy, that he looks like a good man. How could this guy swipe right 2 million times and not get any dates whatsoever? So let's go ahead and jump down into this and talk about, really, why did this guy not get any matches? Why did he not get any dates? What is the dating scene demanding nowadays? What kind of man do you need to be to survive out here in this dating world, especially in the Western world? So we've got Hayden. He's 26. He talks about he likes to go fishing and that he likes vacations outdoors, and he may own a lot of snakes. Okay, so we can see he does have an interest in snakes, country music, memes, mountains, camping, fishing. All right, that's pretty cool. He's got some interesting photos on here, not just a dirty mirror selfie. I think this is a decent photo. There's nothing too wrong with it. It looks like he's on a fishing boat. And here's some things about him. So, some information about his astrology. So, let's go into the stats. Here's another picture. All right, here's another photo of him. Let's go into the stats real quick. So, this is crazy, guys. This is absolutely insane. I think this is why so many people were freaked out by this, why so many angry men were in the comments talking about this, about how women are delusional and whatnot. But this guy swiped right, first off, over 2 million times. 2,058,000 times. It looks like he was barely his left swipe ratio compared to his right swipes is really low. So he was swiping right on almost every single option he had, or every single woman on there. Okay. So 2 million, left to no match. Out of 2 million, he only got 2,000 matches. Okay. So 2 million, you get 2,000 matches over 5 years. That's terrible. 784 did not even message him, so no chats whatsoever. So almost half of that, they matched with him and did not even get to the phase where they even talk. Okay? About a little bit more than half of that led to some sort of chat, maybe some sort of text exchange. And this is the crazy thing. Only one of those led to a date. Out of all those chats, they never met up with this dude. And then, unfortunately, from that date, as you can see, 0 led to sex or a relationship. So he went on this date, and this guy got skunked. It didn't lead to anything more. He didn't find his wife. He didn't find a girlfriend. He didn't even take the girl home. So, and this is over 5 years and 93 days. 5 years on Tinder. 26 years old. So he's been on Tinder since he was 21. Only got one date. That is crazy, guys. That is absolutely crazy. So let's kind of pick this apart a little bit more. So average pickiness. How many people do you swipe right on compared to the average male or female user? So yeah, it shows right here that he was swiping on 98% of the profiles. And the women are only swiping right on 7%. So, if you've ever seen a girl on Tinder, you'll see that she's swiping left on almost fucking everybody, right? Left, 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 left. Maybe there'll be a guy that pops up that they swipe on, right? And if that even leads to anything, who knows? The average man is swiping on 40%. So they're, swiping left here and there. They're kind of like swiping right. They're just trying to meet a girl. He matched with 0.1%. So less than a percent of basically 1 out of 1,000 people, essentially, is what he would match with, that this guy was matching with. Women, on the other hand, look at this. 1 in 1,000. When in real time, women match with 33% of the people they swipe right on. And now we see the average man is getting a pick rate of 2.5%. Now, this is insane. This guy's stats compared to the average man is actually quite low because he's only getting 1 in 1,000. At least the men with the 2.5% are getting somewhat, 2 to 3 women out of 100 swipes versus 1 in 1,000. So, I mean, the stats are basically saying like this guy's way below average. But the outrage online is people saying that this guy isn't quote unquote below average, that he's looks like a normal guy. He looks like a nice guy. He looks like an active guy. That essentially there's nothing really wrong with his profile. And there's nothing really wrong with him in general. No crazy red flags other than the snake obsession. Um, and then check this out. This guy was swiping like crazy. This dude must have been on his phone fucking all the time. Like, look, the average man is doing 200 swipes per day. The average woman is doing 137. This guy is doing 2,000 swipes per day. So this dude is on fucking Tinder swiping like crazy. He is desperate. And I'm sure that the desperation, just looking at his stats, looking at how much he was swiping right, there must have been a lot of desperation for this dude to find a partner. And I wouldn't doubt if he's been in a very long dry spell that's probably lasted for years. If a guy is on Tinder like this and he's not getting any play, no dates, nothing, and he's on Tinder all day, trust me, guys, when you have a girl, when you have a girlfriend, or you have options, you're less likely to use these fucking dating apps. But let's kind of pick apart his profile. So the first thing I would say, let's rate this guy on like a scale. If he really is 26 years old, I do feel a bit bad for him because he is going bald. And I can tell from these pictures, he has the old hat on. So he's definitely hiding his baldness. He's got his glasses. He has got the beard. So he's definitely making some sort of, having the hat, the glasses, and the beard is a common way to hide your actual facial shape. Especially if you're unattractive, you'll notice a lot of dudes will grow a beard out, or they'll wear a hat or beanies, or they'll put on glasses to try to make themselves look more attractive. Where in this man's case, it looks like he is using that tactic to because look right here, even without the hat, he is slightly less attractive in this photo than this one because the gigantic bald spot. But the true outrage is like, okay, I would say this dude he's not hideous. He's obviously not hideous. He's not like so ugly that he's like completely cooked per se, that he's never gonna find a partner or a wife or have kids or ever get a relationship. I'm sure this guy has had, a couple relationships in the past, maybe in school, maybe he's not a virgin, right? I really couldn't tell you. At that age, it's very unlikely that you're still a virgin, but this guy possibly could still be a virgin depending on his luck in the past when he was younger. I would love to see a picture of him when he was still in school versus when he graduated. Another thing I can tell is the guy is definitely somewhat overweight. He's definitely somewhat overweight. His face is very fat and it's not toned whatsoever. He's got a very round face, which could actually be fixed. It looks like this guy could actually fix his facial fat, but he's probably not optimizing his diet. He's probably not going to the gym. And the one thing I want to say is I think it's a bit ridiculous that this guy was spending all this time on Tinder for no effort, for no dates, for no pussy. Because imagine if he spent all this time, look, he's doing 2,000 swipes per day. Imagine if he was in the gym. Imagine if he was looks maxing. Imagine if he just, got built as hell, if he went to the gym and he got sculpted, he got a six pack, I guarantee you, if he had a shirtless, six pack photo, even being bald, even being who he is, right, that he would have a lot of matches and he wouldn't be having these issues. But the average woman, or the just women in general, are not interested in this kind of man anymore. They're not. They're not. If you're this kind of man, this average man, just this, oofy doofy kind of guy, you're not able to compete in the modern dating scene. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you. It's impossible, especially in the West. Like, you have to geomax. This guy may have to go to Thailand or something, or the Philippines, to go get a girlfriend or a wife. This guy may have to leave the United States in order to have good options, because in the United States, this just doesn't cut it. Women don't want to post this kind of guy on their story. They don't want to show him off. He's just not what they're looking for. This guy doesn't give them that spark inside when they have. And the honest truth is because they have just more better options, especially on a dating app. And by the way, if you are this kind of guy, dating apps will not lead to anything worthwhile. You're going to end up like this dude. You're not going to get very many matches. You're not going to get very many likes. You're going to get ghosted. Like, if you guys have ever used Tinder, I want you to come back to this. This is kind of a representation of how it is for men on Tinder. Most men, you're swiping right, very little of those swipes actually do lead to a match. And then, what happens, right? A lot of those matches don't even message you. You could say hi, you could say hello, and the girl never replies. And then out of those chats, how many of those chats where they actually reply, does the woman actually continue chatting with you? Very rarely. For most dudes, very, very rarely, because they might message you back once, and then you message them again, and they just never reply. They just ghost you, right? You're just so likely to get ghosted if you're an average man on these apps. It's honestly not worth it, guys. It's really not worth it. And I'm willing to bet that this guy had Tinder Gold and all that other shit on his profile. He was probably paying for these unlimited swipes and all that, and he was probably sending super likes and using boosts and stuff. So, and yeah, like, look at the pitiful amount of dates that never coalesce. So even though they match with this guy, even though he may look normal or whatever for the most part, like an average guy, it just never led to anything more than maybe a couple texts. So this guy could definitely use some looks maxing, because he's 26 years old and he's not going to be looking any better over time. He's only going to look worse and worse. He's going to be more susceptible to becoming overweight. And, I feel bad for guys like this, because, a lot of them could be good people, and, they perhaps deserve to have a love in their life, someone in their life that they care about, but it's just the way the world is now. It's hyper competitive. It's extremely hyper competitive. And this guy is kind of a representation of the average sub 5 male. There's just nothing special about him. See, there's nothing really truly wrong with him. The thing that's wrong with him is that there's nothing truly special about him, right? There's nothing that is going to catch a woman's eye that is going to make her want him over another man, because there's just better, more handsome dudes out there that they're willing to get with. And look, this guy isn't even getting no pussy. Like, let's not even talk about girlfriends. Like, this dude's not getting any play whatsoever. He's not getting any play at all. So, yeah, guys, he needs to lose weight. He needs to get in the gym. He needs to start working out. He needs to stop spending so much time on his phone. He needs to just put his time. He needs to put his free time towards more productive things that'll improve his looks, that'll improve his life, his charisma, and perhaps start talking to girls in person, going to social events, and meeting women in real life, because Tinder is just not gonna work for this guy. It's not. It. If he doesn't quit Tinder from this, after this event, I honestly say like that's a huge mistake, because it's just not working for him. Like, if you're a guy in this position, have used Tinder, if it's not working for you, you're honestly better off going up to girls in public, in real life, asking them out, being confident, being a man, working your ass off, getting in the gym, improving your diet. Like, being average will give you average results, and nowadays, average results don't cut it. Average results are this. This is the average result. Right? Look at that. 2.5%. You really think that you're part of that 2.5%? If you're lucky, it's probably if you're lucky, right? If you have a 5% or 10%, 1 out of 10, 1 out of 20, that's like Chad territory. So, what do you guys think about this kind of, thing right here? I mean, this is like the story of the last 5 years of the average man on dating apps. This really is the story. There's millions of men like this man. He's not just a special case. In actuality, it's one of those things where, a lot of people resonate with this guy because they've had similar results. So let's go on one of these social media posts and look at some of the comments that people are leaving behind and analyze them. Alright, so we are on Reddit, where I actually found this post. The most cucked out website in the world, Reddit. Yeah, I hate this website, but we're going to use it for now. So, show us the girl that agreed to a date. Okay? So, yeah, that would be interesting to see, what kind of... I wouldn't be surprised if the girl was, like, not very good looking. 1,900 times a day is insane. Yeah, no, that's true. That's what I thought too. He probably had an auto swiper macro. Okay. Yeah, people think this is pretty insane to be on like 1,900 times. This guy must have the lowest Tinder ELO of all time. He probably swipes nothing but bots and troll accounts. I don't think so. I think he's just mindlessly swiping, but maybe not trying to just swipe just to get cooked. Not only that, but there are red flags right in there. Lots of them. Didn't take flattering photos either. Not one full body shot. Not one shot showing his hairline. That's not true. Doesn't have one photo that would make a girl feel comfortable being seen with him in public. Okay, yeah, that's kind of true. He's an outdoors guy, but doesn't have one photo with an I want to go there or I want to be there. If you're going for a very niche type of girl, then you have to play that hand all in. Okay. Okay, let's see here. My idea of the vacation is going to the desert and looking for snakes. 1,269 chats and only one date, so it's not just that people aren't matching with him. Yeah, so they're saying he has a negative charisma score, and I believe that's completely true. He probably doesn't have very much experience talking to girls. I'm 99% sure I saw this guy's full profile on Reddit a few months back. Derogatory woman shirt that's not here, and his job was something like it's none of your business warehouse or something. Yeah, I mean, if he works in a warehouse, that's another turnoff for women. Trust me, guys. If you work like a wage cut job, that's like a turnoff. Yeah. So, let's see. There's more to this story than that graph shows, just those numbers. Not exactly sure if this is interesting as fuck, but as a similar age dude, this guy isn't going to get a lot of action on Tinder. He wants to go where there is no electricity, you have to catch your food, and he's got over 30 snakes. 1,269 chats leading to one date. I think we know who the problem is. Okay. Might have something to do with the 30 plus snakes. Yeah, that's a huge red flag. I mean, that definitely turns off the ladies. They don't like snakes. Bro must have zero communication skills. Alright. Brother has no riz. I'd like to see a dating coach do a take on this. I cannot stress this enough. If you are a dude on Tinder, ask a female friend to choose your pictures. Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty good. Cast a wide net, catch nothing. That's hilarious. He looks like JD Vance. He does kind of look like that JD Vance meme. This is ripped apart on Twitter a while ago. The real killer is the rapey photo holding a fish to a camera with a dead man smile while wearing a hoodie that says "sit on my face." I didn't see that. I saw this post on Instagram last night. What's interesting is that this post doesn't include the picture. Sit your ass on my face. Okay, I guess there's another post that had that picture. Maybe he was using an auto swiper, who knows. Still though, he got cooked. He basically says he can only date someone who is fishing. Guess what? There's not that many fish in the sea for you. Oh, dude. The problem is you. Oh man, no, these people have no sympathy for this guy. Actually, I saw sympathy on other website on Reddit. They don't give a shit. Swiping right on every woman you see without looking. Is that the prefer not to say? Okay, kind of creepy bio, but okay. 33 snakes. Kind of want to see the ones he swiped left on. Yeah, that'd be pretty funny. Girls, I want a redneck Romeo. Stupid post. Owning 33 snakes. Get grinder. I'm only into guys that love knitting and crocheting. At least he is true to himself, looking for that one needle in that haystack. He's 26 and has the looks and the physique of 38 and 55 respectively. No, that's so true, dude. He does not look 26. He looks way fucking older. I would not doubt if alcohol and smoking has something to do with that. You know, the guy not going to the gym, the guy not prioritizing a diet. He's going to age very poorly. He's fat, balding, boring, right-wing, smells like fish. Pretty much everything the modern woman hates. That's true. Yeah. No, that's really true. Oh, look, here we got an angry guy. Am I reading that graph correctly that women only swipe right 7% of the time? Yeah. Yep, I've been dating a... Wow. Let's see. Yeah, here's a lot of angry guys right here talking pissed off about that. Yep, we got a lot of... Here's the angry incel thread right here. Comment deleted by user. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a shit show. Won't say about vaccination. Snake and fish obsessed. I mean, who gives a shit about the vaccination? Come on, guys. It's fucking stupid. It's Reddit. Fucking Reddit is a bunch of fucking idiots anyways. I caught you a delicious bass. You chat with the problem is you. To be fair, he seems like a pretty hard sell. The female version would be my idea of a vacation with a 6-hour shopping spree. 33 cats and dogs. This is prime incel marketing material. Yeah, really true, honestly. His profile reeks of typical Republican white American ideals, which is what most women are avoiding in these trying times. You can be honest, but at least try to sound appealing to the masses. Clearly his approach didn't work. There's a lot of fat women conventionally more unattractive than this man that are still hoping for their... here's an incel comment. Good for them. Do they hold fish in their pictures? Do they prefer not to say if they're vaccinated? The guy has a lot of red flags beyond his appearance and weight. Alright. Let's see. Source? Angry incels. Let's go. This is what I want. He's not vaccinated. Who gives a shit about the fucking vaccination, bro? This shit was years ago. And by the way, if you got vaccinated, you're a fucking idiot. Fucking stupid, dude. It's Reddit. Like I said, guys, it's fucking Reddit. You know, who gives a fuck about the vaccination? I don't like fishing. That's too many snakes. I don't want to go in the desert. Willing to sit in, blah, blah, blah. Vibes are off. He chatted 12 site, 0 game. Bet he blames the women. My guess is that he's looking for 18, 19-year-old that looks like a Greek goddess. Must have a wrist like a pro arm wrestler. Yeah, it's because he's a Pisces. FarmersOnly.com. Common knowledge that women on dating apps tend to swipe left if you have photo of an animal you just killed or of any sort of conservative coded imagery like the Punisher American flag deer t-shirt. Vaccination, prefer not to say deer skull with white. Oh yeah, we already know this guy's got a single no spark date. Saw the first photo and asked myself, why does he look like the world's most socially awkward man? The dude's profile screams undateable, obstinate about interest in fishing, doesn't want kids, won't say vaccination status. Dude, why do these fuckers care about the fucking vaccine? Who fucking... that? Okay, maybe that's like a liberal dog whistle or something. Like, you know, they won't date you if you're not vaccinated because you didn't fucking slave yourself away to the system and fucking take a fucking vaccine that they tried to force on the entire planet. What's his date name? Eve. Fuck dating apps. Let's see what this guy's profile looks like. I dump her in a second. Oh my god. This is definitely an incel. She still looks absolutely stunning. Fuck dating apps. Dude, who is she? Oh my lord. I'm just looking at a random person's profile. We're not even talking about this guy anymore. I just fuck Reddit. I'm falling down the Reddit rabbit hole. So yeah, fellas. Hayden, I'm sorry, but I think you need to take a break from the apps. If you're watching this, get in the gym, man. Take a break from the apps. Get on some looks maxing shit, and you know, go talk to women in the real world because you're not gonna find them on an app. All right. Let me know, guys, what you think of this analysis down in the comments. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. Peace.